thank you very much for talking with us.
Absolute pleasure.
I'll get my patch in there because otherwise you don't see it.
So.
Thank you for doing this as well. What was it about Richard Loving that you kind of grabbed onto?
Well, I had to grab onto a lot. There was a lot about him. The most significant thing about Richard, I think, was how silent he was. How he seemed to be thinking so much and saying so little. And it was there on the archival footage. Kind of saw the guy almost looking for a way out of his situation, like wanting an escape or wanting everybody else to disappear, but thinking a lot and not saying much. Unlike me.
He was very reluctant. I like to think of him as a reluctant hero, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and look, I've thought a lot about this too, is, we all need the revolutionary, but they're more like the Superman hero. They're the ones that we can't be. We don't have their strength. Richard and Mildred were the heroes we could identify with because they were like us. And I think when we see people, even if they feel like they've been pushed into a situation, you could place yourself in their shoes because they're the normal hero. And I think that sometimes they're as necessary as the revolutionary.
What do you think drove him? Because it wasn't the whole going to the Supreme Court and changing the laws in the world.
No, but there's something definitely beautiful about Richard's way of thinking because it's so simple and yet intuitive. Richard felt like, well, why can't you just go to the judge and just say we're not going to hurt anybody? I mean, and a lawyer or someone from the city in a suit might laugh at that because it's too emotional and it's too simplistic. But then why shouldn't that be a victorious statement? It's in and of itself. We're not going to hurt anybody. And that's what's really at the core of, a debate about marriage equality. It's like, we presume to come into your home where you're not hurting anybody and tell you you're not allowed to do what you're doing.
What type of, like the burden on you, since Richard doesn't talk that much and there's not that much dialogue, what did that mean for you as an actor?
It meant that I could have a cool night the night before because I didn't have to sit there and try and learn lines. On the day of shooting those scenes, though, sitting there with the sheriff when he's sort of talking about the way the races shouldn't intermingle and that I should have known better and all that stuff. Jeff and I would literally have a good talk about, what speech is there that's not written and what he's thinking about. So that it was very important to be specific about what the silence meant. So it was a real challenge. I thought it was going to be like, oh, cool, I love this, I don't have to say much. But it became more of an exploration in having to be specific about it.
I thought it was one of the great points of the film.
Thank you.
Made in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching this interview. As always, don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think in the comment section below. For the next Made in Hollywood interview, click right here. Do it. Click it.